So I have a little creepy story to share with y'all. About 12 to 13 years ago, we used to live in these terrible apartments. And the energy over there was always terrible because it was either dolphins or alcoholics just like in this building because it was affordable. And I would also like to add that, I had my son young, so me and my ex did not have a lot of money at the time. There was a reason why we were staying there. Like, we didn't even have a bed frame, which is going to be important later. Anyway, I started to notice that my son was just having a great ass time by himself, just playing with a damn toy. And I'm not talking about that laugh like I'm having a good time. I'm talking about that laugh that babies have when you like tickle them, or like when you do that peekaboo. Like, the fuck? Anyway, I'm the type of person that speaks to everything. So I'm like, bruh, listen, it seems like my baby's having a great ass time. And just don't harm my baby. Don't let me see you. And then we good. But eventually, like, I started to feel washed in the shower. And after like a few days of this, I'm like, bro, like, you can't do this. Cause like, what kind of bills is you paying to try to see my goodies? After a week or so, I'm yelling at this point, like, bro, just let me just take a shower in peace. And then all of a sudden I stopped feeling watched. And then I hear my son scream, and he's crying like out of pure fear. Of course, and when I run out the shower and I go see him, and he's like terrified, like somebody just scared the shit out of him. So I was pissed. Okay, so I went off a little bit, just a little. So that night, I see the cup fall off that fucking counter. And it's one of those like tall plastic cups that's kind of heavy. And no, I do not leave my cups on the edge because my baby act like he was the most thirstiest person in the world. And he had to try every liquid that exists. And I was like, okay, that's what we doing now. What a piece of shit. Move. I was trying to stay up and wait for my ex to get home. Now, he usually get home about 2:15 because he get off at 2 and we didn't live very far from the job. But I eventually give up and fall asleep. So then I feel him, sit on the bed. And I look up and I'm like, hey, how was work? And he ain't saying nothing. I was like, did you just get home? He didn't say nothing. So I said, fuck it. And I turned my ass back around and go to sleep. Because you don't have to talk to me. You don't want me to don't talk to me. Then I woke up to the lights turning on. And he walking through the fucking door. So I cuss his ass out. Like, where the hell did you go at 2 o'clock in the morning? And blah, 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 blah. He was like, I just got here. And I was like, no, you didn't. You got home earlier. I asked you how everything was. You didn't want to talk to me, but now you want to go outside? He was like, no, I just got here. What are you talking about? And I was like, bro, what time is it? And he was like, it's like 2:17. And I was like, no. But then now that I'm aware, I'm realizing that the shadow I was looking at was way more heavyset and bald, while my ex was super skinny with hair. And I remember giving him this look, and he was like, no, don't even tell me. Now, I didn't have anything happen after that, but it was just like, bro, why?
Do something with it. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and eating me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me.
Hey guys, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny and welcome to another episode of Spooky Story with Jenny. Okay, because I don't want to say Spooky Sundays because I'm not going to be just posting on Sundays when it comes to spooky stories. So I hope you guys enjoy more spooky stories on my channel because I want to bring more. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed these spooky stories, and also I'm sharing some spooky stories that were submitted from our subscribers. I'm reading them, and please go ahead and submit all of your spooky stories because we'll love to hear them. And those two, one of them was from Jamaica and another one was from New Orleans, and you guys know New Orleans is my baby. I need to go back to New Orleans. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy these stories and let me know what you think about them in the comment section. And also, if you have any stories, go ahead and submit them and I will be reading them. Okay, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true. I'll go first. When I was
Okay, so I don't usually do things like this, but I, since a very young age, sorry, I'm like checking in my kitchen. It's literally just like a little ghost, like, anyways. I hung out there on purpose, so I'm not bringing myself out, but I just watched another story and I'm like, "Ugh," I got the heebies. But this is something that I've told so many people and they like don't even know how to respond. They don't even say anything after I'm done, but like, but basically, I was very, very young. I had heard stories about like monsters under the bed, stuff like that. I watch a lot of shows, you know, there's like real monsters or whatever, and they live in like sewage, you know, they live in the creepy places, you know. And I was like, okay. And my mom, I asked her if there's like any like monsters under the bed that like have a name. And she said, well, people call monster under the bed boogeyman, but he's not real. And so I was like, okay. And I was like, sorry, I was trying to figure out what was going on because my cat, she specifically has green eyes that would glow a specific hue of scarlet red around them when she was under my bed. And when I called her, she would come out. Her name was Princess. And I'd be like, Princess, come on, you're scaring me. And she'd be like, Mimi. And she'd come out. She was a beautiful, amazing, sweet cat. One of the sweetest cats I've ever met, still to this day. Besides the point. But sometimes I'd call to her and there'd be these little beady red eyes. They were like, I think about like that big. And they were like this far apart and they'd come from under my bed. And I'd call Princess over and over again and then they get closer to me. And that's it. They wouldn't like, Princess wouldn't come out, then mew mew, nothing. And I just jump and get back onto my bed because immediately like full body chills like I'm having right now because I remember the stuff that was going on. And it would keep happening. And then one day I saw like it was this weird like kind of torn up green like kind of mummified looking figure with the red eyes because it was a little bit like it was almost nighttime but not really. And then it saw that I saw it and it turned to me. And I immediately freaked out. I immediately ran to my mom's room, chills up the wazoo. I immediately ran to my mom's room and I'm like, I think the boogeyman just tried to attack me. Like, I think the boogeyman's actually under my bed. Like, I think he's real and I think he actually tried to get me. And my mom's like, there's no way he's real. You were probably just like really scared in the moment and it'll be fine. Just go to bed. And oh, I'll never forget that. Like, and then another instance of that happened with the red eyes. And it was darker out, and then I felt like there was something like reaching out to me, and it kind of looked like it, but I was a kid, so it was kind of like dark, so I couldn't really register it, and so one day in the broad daylight, I think it was either the day after the hand reaching out thing, or it was like a day or two, or it was like right like a couple hours after. It was like within a day or two after that happened. I was sitting on my bed. I was drawing because I draw, like I doodle, like, you know, I've done it since I was a kid. I have overactive imagination. I do that. And I was doing it on my big, I finally got a big like sketchbook and I was like doodling. I was so happy. I was like, yes, oh my God, I'm gonna have like places to actually put my art. And I feel like I was 8 or 9 around this time. And my ankles were dangling like on my bed because I was a kid, so like the bottom of the bed was like here and my ankles were like that and I couldn't touch the floor yet. And I was just doodling away. I was like giggling to myself. I was so happy. And then out of nowhere, something grabs my ankle with the hottest, most fiery, most painful scorn and like feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. And I just screamed at the top of my lungs. I absolutely just screamed at the top of my fucking lungs. Pardon my French, I'm sorry, TikTok, but I just screamed at the top of my lungs because I've never felt anything like that. It felt like someone got like a freaking like, you know, those things that they brand cows with and put it on my ankle. Like that's all that I could imagine it felt like. I mean, that's all I could attest to what it feels like because that's how like crazy and sudden it was and painful and hot. And I looked down and it was that hand that I was scared of the other day. And it like it I still am shocked to this day. It's been like almost like 20 years now and I'm still like and it left a big scar on the side of my ankle from where it like I guess it dug into me and burned me. I still have a piece of the scar to this day. I've shown people, I've told people like I believe in demons because I'm pretty sure that one attacked me when I was like 8 or 9 and I was just sitting in my bed in broad daylight. I still have a piece of the scar on my ankle. No one knows what to say to me about this. No one knows what to do. No one even knows what to think. My fiance, like, I've told it about this, and he told me, like, I cannot even imagine how that must have felt, especially being that young. And I honestly don't even know what I would do or what I would say. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I can't, a demon, like, and I'm like, yes, like, there's no other explanation to that. Like, it wasn't my cat. I know for a fact because I'd call my cat's name and it wouldn't come and it wouldn't like and it fucking got me. It fucking got me. And to this day, I don't know. I don't know what that was. I don't know. Like, all I can attest to was like a spiteful demon. Like, I know that, like, I'm not afraid of demons at the same time, but like that was another type of like being an entity that I really want no part of, even to this day. And I'll never get over that. Like, it's obviously traumatizing because of the pain, but like at the same time, like, no one believed me. My mom kept saying it wasn't real, and I kept telling her, like, it's under my bed, it's under my bed, it's under my bed, it's under my bed. And I'll never forget that. And I don't know if anyone will believe me now. Hardly anyone really believes me or understands what I'm saying when I talk about it, because I don't even know if I fully have ever grasped that in all the years that I've known and had this experience. But I just wanted to finally share it publicly because, like, I don't know if anyone's had a similar experience, and hopefully I'm not the only one at this point. But if I am, then I don't know. I don't know why I was the unlucky one, but I'm not hoping that anyone has also gone through it, because that's fucking awful and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But if anyone has, I would like to know so I feel less crazy and alone and misunderstood, because I still don't know. I still really don't know how to grasp it, and I don't know if anyone can grasp it either. So it's just really crazy, and I still can't believe I still have the scar to this day. And I'm 25. It's been like 17 years. It's almost been 2 decades, and I'm still like, there it is, where that entity, demon, whatever you want to call it, grabbed me and fucking burned me. So yeah, that's my story. Have a good night or day, wherever you are. If you've had a similar experience, please let me know, because I don't know. I don't want to be alone in this.
Story time about how I had an encounter with a mimic. Now, I will say this happened this past year, but I had no idea what this was at the time. And I only just the past couple months started seeing videos, because I like to listen to spooky stories on TikTok late at night. And I started seeing videos on TikTok about mimics, and I was like, oh my god, I think I encountered that. And the more research I did on mimics, the more I realized that that is exactly what I experienced. So here we go. About 6 months ago, I went to my brother's house to babysit his son. Him and his wife were gonna go out for a date night, and I was taking my 2 children with me, my 2-year-old daughter and my son who was about to be 4. So we get there, everything's good. My brother and his wife, they go off to go on their date. And me and the kids were just all chilling out. I'm gonna change their names for this story, but my nephew Benjamin, he did good the whole night, and my children did good, everybody was fine. Then bedtime came. Benjamin went down perfectly. He was an angel. My daughter, she went down pretty easy, and then it came time to put my son down, and him being the oldest of the 3, he doesn't go down as early as the other 2 do. So my son was laying in the guest bed with me, and we were just scrolling on social media together, and he was starting to fall asleep, and all I hear is my sister-in-law's voice from the hallway, and I hear, "Benjamin," and it was clear as day. So I'm thinking, like, oh, she must be home. And my son, he goes, Auntie, and he starts getting up, and he, like, hears it too. So we walk out of the room to greet my brother and my sister-in-law, and nobody was there. Absolutely no one. At that point, I was really freaked out, because I knew for a fact that I heard it, and it sounded exactly like my sister-in-law's voice. And I looked at my son, and I was like, did you hear it? Did you hear Auntie? And he was like, yeah, where is she? And he's like looking for her. So I knew I wasn't crazy because we literally both heard it. Now I will say I do believe in the supernatural myself. I just don't like to fuck around with it. So as soon as that happened, I just took my son back to the room. I made sure all the doors were locked and everything, and we just went back to the guest room and laid down in the bed, and I did not move a muscle, and I kept that door shut, and my daughter was in the room with me, and I kept watching the baby cam of my nephew Benjamin because I was honestly just so like thrown by that whole experience. So I want to say about 2 hours later, I hear the front door open and close, and I hear my brother's voice and my sister-in-law's voice. So at this point, I know for a fact that they're back. My son is asleep at this point, so I carefully walk out of the room and I greet them. And we start talking about their night. I asked how their date went. They said good. And then I asked them, did you guys go on the baby camera at any point, especially you? And I asked my sister-in-law that. And I was like, did you talk to your son, like through the baby cam or anything? And they both looked at me very confused. And they were like, no, like why? And so I tell them what happened. And I was like, this is what happened. I thought maybe I was just hearing things, but my son also heard it. So I know I was not the only person who heard it. And so my brother decides that he's going to check the security cameras in his house. So he checks the security cameras, and what comes up is he sees me and my son walking out of the room, and he hears our whole conversation of me saying, did you hear that too? And my son going, Auntie, yeah, where's Auntie? And on the security camera, right after I ask my son, did you hear Auntie? All you hear is this soft voice that sounded exactly like my sister-in-law's voice go, shh, be quiet. And you can hear it plain as day. And my brother freaked out. And he was like, these security cameras like that I have in like the living room, you can't even speak through. Like you can't. They're just like basic security cameras that can hear audio and video and record it. That's it. So at that point, we're freaked out, and he's like, even if somebody hacked into it, they wouldn't be able to speak through it. It's just not that type of camera, because we're trying to go through like all the rational like thoughts, right? So then I asked him, how old is this house? Because he was renting this place, and he told me that the house was built in the early 1940s. And I was like, well, do you know of anything like bad with this house? And he said he had no idea because they were just renting from this company. I asked him and his wife if they ever experienced anything weird in that house, and they said that they weren't sure and that they didn't think so, but they both work full-time and their son's in preschool, so it's not like they spend a lot of time there. So at that point, my brother decided to completely ignore that everything happened, and he felt too uncomfortable. And my sister-in-law said that she was creeped out and that she just wanted to go to bed and pretend like nothing happened. I said that I would never go back to that house after that because I just felt really freaked out. And the rest of the time that I was there, I felt like eyes were on me, and I couldn't tell if it was my anxiety or if it was actually something in the house with us. And since then, my brother and my sister-in-law have moved into an apartment, thank God. So they are no longer in that house. But yeah, that was a very terrifying experience for me. And the more research I did on mimics, the more I realized that that was what I encountered and that you're not supposed to interact with it. So I'm actually glad that I just did not interact with it, that instead I just stood up and walked out. I forgot to mention too that while I was laying in the bed with my son, before I walked out with my son, I did text my sister-in-law asking if they were home. And they didn't see my text until they got back. So this whole situation was just really creepy. But yeah, that was my experience with the mimic. Hope y'all enjoyed.
Hey y'all, welcome back. So this story was actually submitted by one of our subscribers, Sucker Free Vibes. Hey girl, hey. So it says, I lived in Jamaica for 1 year, and now I travel back and forth just for sometimes. I knew once I got there I would have even more spiritual experiences. I moved all the way to the top of the hill of Claremont in a small town. No street lights, not really. The ones that they have are very far apart. While catching a taxi home, there were cows in the middle of the streets, pitch black outside while going up the hills. Their eyes were beaming red. We'll talk about that in a minute. Beaming red, and they didn't want to move. You would have to make noise or throw something near them to distract them, as they say. Okay, so let's talk about those cows. So have you ever heard of La Diablesse? So it's like supposedly it's this demon lady who basically she's a woman, but she have the 1 foot of a cow, and she will lure men to the woods at night. So she'll like go to a party because she's dressed very beautifully with long black dress on, excuse me, and she'll lure men. So she basically meet a man, and then she'll basically lure you to the woods at night, and then she'll turn into a cow, and it's called La Jablesse, and it's from like folklores from like Haiti and Trinidad, Montego Bay, and all those places. So let me know if where you're from, if they have that folklore, but it kind of sounds like that. And she also have like red eyes, like big red eyes when she do turn into a cow. So let's continue the story. Anyway, so you have to make noise or throw something near them to distract them, as they say. So many supernatural experiences while I was living up there in the hills. Well, first of all, ma'am, living in the hills isn't like the Obia men, according to like people in Jamaica, because I have a Jamaican friend, and they say all the people who do like voodoo and stuff, they live up the hills. So as soon as you said up the hill, I already said, okay, this is gonna be something. Anyways, and you're not even from the town, so you don't even know what's going on, like where you should be going, where you shouldn't be going. That's crazy. All right, so it says, as they say, supernatural experiences while I was living there in the hills. The home I started living in definitely had different activities. The lady that rented out to me hasn't lived there for many years. One night I was laying in bed and I felt a presence, as I always did while staying in that house. So I guess there's always like presence in that house. I was looking at the light in the hallway outside of the bedroom. It started switching or twitching, then struck and went out. My neighbor was my landlord's son, and he would always change my light bulbs. He said he just replaced that he just placed a new one a few days ago. I was laughing like, whoa. The cat and the cats, they definitely talk. Okay, so you know how like I make stories about cats in Haiti or not actual cats, because a lot of time they could be shapeshifters. They could be like actual humans. So it's good to see that someone submitted a story about cats talking, okay? Because they be talking. It's only cats in America that y'all think is just making noise. Look, cats be talking. Anyway, so let's continue. And the cats would definitely be talking. My friend lived with his family, and they had a lot of cats, but they would only follow him everywhere he goes. I knew it was for a deeper reason. Okay, so she knew it was for a deeper reason. I got mixed up here. His eyes were different and dark as well. You can tell he was into something, witches and warlocks, shapeshifters, into them. It mostly happened in the countryside. Well, of course it happens in the countryside and also in the mountains, because like I said before, my friend, who is also Jamaican, would always make comments about, the Obia lady or the Obia men living in the mountains. So if you're a Jamaican, let me know if the Obia men actually live in the mountains, because a lot of people, and it makes sense, because up in the mountain, nobody bothers you. You're in your own little space, and whenever someone who basically pretend that they don't go to witches and stuff, whenever something bad happens, they just sneak off to the mountains to get you to do some how do you call this? Tesezi for them. Shocking tea. Haitians, the Haitians have a tea for everything, but they have this thing called a tesezi. So whenever you have like a shock, you can drink this tea to help you to basically not be so affected by whatever happened or whatever the situation is, so you're not like completely affected by it. Or they'll go there to see, they go to a tabtune, which is like a turning table, but it's for like the spiritual world, so you can see the person who have passed on will present themselves to the person who is working with the turning table. That's what it's called, a turntable. But to tell you exactly what happened to them and who killed them, because I would know, because my auntie went to someone for one of her child passed. But anyways, like a lot of people I know who practice this. Oh, my hair's like sticking up. Okay, it's good now. Okay, so a lot of people I know, especially in like the countryside, who practices this, they are usually up in the mountain or up in the hills somewhere. So as soon as you say your story was like somewhere up in the hills in Jamaica, I was like, girl, we already know that this was going to be some creepy stuff happening in your house. And the fact that you confirmed that cats be talking, at least I know I'm not crazy, okay? I know like our people are not crazy. We know them cats are not real cats. They're just pretending. And also, cats are not bad. I love cats. I love cats. The goddess Bastet, back in her days, they used to worship her, and her symbolism, her representation is literally a cat. Cat Bastet. I love me Bastet. I work with her. I love working with her because she loves like perfume and stuff, and that's like my thing. So yeah, cats are definitely not bad in my opinion, but some are actual humans and they do be talking. Like, look, the cats be outside at like midnight or 3 o'clock in the morning just talking to each other, just making the most amount of noise. Listen, you hear? Thank you for the story. Y'all go ahead and submit your stories and I will read them. And please don't come for my reading, okay? Look, English is my 4th language, so do not come for my reading. I will work on that. I know how interesting y'all can get in the comment section, but go ahead and leave your opinion in the comment section. And if you have a story, you send it because I will read it. I will read it, and it might make it to our next Spooky Sundays. Thank you so much to Sucker Free Vibes for submitting that story. It was beautiful. It was good. It was very good. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.